Hey guys, so before I get into the video real quick, huge thank you to this video's sponsor, the Pokémon Company International! Yep, you heard that right, and I have no idea how it happened. They sent me so many amazing goodies, so stick around to the end where I show them off in all their glory. So, let's go Pikachu and Eevee. Believe it or not, I am a Pokemon channel, so it'd probably be a good idea to acknowledge it. I would have done so earlier, but E3 was a thing and I wanted to wait until that was over before I talked about it. I haven't had any other videos because I've been working on a special project for Eevee. Please keep your eyes open, I know it's been a month, but I'm nearly done, I promise. But Game Freak have been pulling surprise moves for so long I'm almost not surprised. Almost. If you'd asked me when I thought the Switch title for Pokemon was going to be released a few weeks ago, I would have said 2019, for sure. Last time we had a new console, Game Freak took their time. X and Y weren't released until the 3DS had already been out for 2.5 years. I thought that maybe they'd wait and test the waters again with a spin-off like Mystery Dungeon, but I guess that is what they're doing with Quest, but in a much shorter time period. And maybe that's what they would have done if it weren't for Pokemon Go. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that Go was a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm sure that it made Game Freak think about what lessons they could learn from its success. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. As a community, I think we're very resistant to change, to put it lightly. We see the word go, freak out, and think worst case scenario. Oh no, are they gonna oversimplify it? Are they gonna change the formula too much? Well, there's no way of telling for sure, but I think we just have to have faith that they know what they're doing. Taking influence from Go doesn't have to be a bad thing. For example, Pokemon at its core has always been about the connective experience that you share with other people, be it trading, battling, or just playing through a game together. Even without trading or real-time battles, Go took this concept to an entirely new level. Part of what makes it so fun and so successful is getting to share the experience with other people, running around like lunatics looking for Pokemon together. And while you're not going to be moving around in the real world with the Switch, the multiplayer option makes these games seem like the most connective mainline Pokemon experience yet. I think the whole argument, Pokemon Go is gonna ruin the main series forever, is pretty silly too. Of course Game Freak are gonna try and take some influence from the unbelievable success it had. From a business perspective, it'd be strange if they didn't try to do that. But the argument is silly because this isn't even the first time something like this has happened. The game that Let's Go is based on wouldn't exist were it not for the popularity of the Pokemon anime. Yellow was made to appeal to the larger audience of the anime, just like Let's Go is trying to appeal to the larger Go audience. I'm sure that Yellow acted as a gateway of sorts to the rest of the series for a lot of players, and I think they're almost trying to recreate that with Let's Go. But being completely real, this game is honestly making me question what even counts as a main series game anymore. It's not a spin-off, but it's not a main series game like the ones we already know. For now, let's just say it is a main series game, but it's in its own little special bubble. I think a key point we need to take from this is that just because they've taken influence from Go for these two titles, doesn't mean that this is the direction that they're going to take indefinitely. After the initial panic, the official Pokemon Twitter even put out this statement as a form of serious damage control. With Pokemon Quest and Pokemon Let's Go, there are so many new ways to explore the world of Pokemon. Trainers can look forward to even more, with an all-new core series Pokemon RPG title in development for the second half of 2019, which roughly translates to, guys, chill out, don't get your Pokeballs in a twist, this isn't Gen 8. My personal opinion is that I think there is little to no point making conclusions on a game that hasn't even come out yet. Of course they're going to be marketing it in a way that appeals to the masses of Pokemon Go players, but that doesn't mean that it won't have any appeal to longtime fans too. Heck, one of my favorite parts of Sun and Moon, the story, is incredibly unmarketable to the younger audience. You wouldn't see stuff like this running alongside Dora. The point being is that I'd like to think there's more than meets the eye here. I'm trying not to judge a book by its cover, or a game by its marketing. It's a very strange time to be a Pokemon fan, I get it. Even without all of the Pokemon Go influence, I'm already intimidated enough at the prospect of Pokemon essentially moving to Nintendo's home console line, when it's always exclusively been a handheld series. Yes, I know the Switch is a hybrid, but it might as well be a home console, come on. But that being said, what concerns do I have? I'm going to address probably the biggest issue I've seen so far, the Pokemon encounter system, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, at least right now. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but I've never been any good at aiming and Go, so I doubt I'm gonna be any better on the Switch. It's just weird how after having it hammered into you in every main series game ever that you have to weaken a Pokemon first before trying to catch it, to suddenly just, here's some Pokeballs, knock yourself out, is a pretty big change. I do particularly wonder how it's going to be handled with the legendaries, since the traditional battle system is what makes them so hard to catch. You gotta keep your team alive while trying to weaken and catch it, and with certain legendaries it can be a real challenge. Going from that to aimlessly emptying your bag at it is a pretty stark contrast. And what we've seen so far, wild Pokemon can only be encountered through the overworld like in Go. I don't think this is a real negative, but I did like the surprise element of not knowing what Pokemon you're going to encounter, though I do wonder, how is that gonna work with shinies? Do you see them as shiny in the overworld or not? That'd make shiny hunting a lot faster, actually. I sense another shiny hunting riot in the works. I talked about the multiplayer option earlier. I think it's a really fun idea, but I do wonder how they're going to implement it in terms of more important battles. I would be very surprised if it extended outside of regular trainer battles and catching Pokemon. I'm a little bit divided on the Pokeball Plus. At face value, it seems like a really cool idea. Having an actual Pokeball to throw while catching Pokemon makes it immersive on a completely new level. Other than that, it's basically a Pokewalker crossed with the Go Plus. But then I look at the price tag. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Let's Go is different from every mainline game so far in that there are no Pokemon available outside of the original 151. I don't just mean in the Kanto region itself. I don't think that they're programmed into the game at all. If they aren't, it's a pretty big shock, but I can't help but feel like they were gearing up to this. Generation 7 did have all 807 Pokemon in it, but there were no Pokedex entries at all for Pokemon outside of Alola. I talked about this at the time as well. I wasn't big on the idea then. Still can't say I really am. But it does make this change feel like a little bit less of a shock. And going forward, can you imagine how much time it must take to implement every single Pokemon into the game? Maybe before it wasn't that big of a deal, but as the generations keep going, it must become more and more of a challenge. But what am I happy about so far? I'm very grateful that they've kept the traditional battle system. I know it seems obvious, but they did change the way that wild battles are conducted, so you can't really take anything for granted at this point. Pokemon has always been turn-based, and I really don't think that I would have been able to adapt to the real-time battle system that they have in Go. So, thanks for letting me have my turn-based battles, Game Freak. Love ya. The graphics are a huge step up, as is expected of a Switch game, and the very limited part of the soundtrack that I've heard so far sounds amazing. I love that from what we've seen so far, the world itself still feels authentically Pokemon. Lots of NPCs to talk to, hidden things to discover. I love that they're keeping the tiny menu sprites. It makes it feel that much more familiar. They've even reworked some of them as well, which really does show that attention to detail that I love Pokemon for. I do like that they're probably going to take these games in a different direction from the remakes that we've had so far. The protagonists aren't even redesigns, they're completely different characters. The rival's different, everything feels different, but still familiar. But for this reason, I don't think that the story is going to take quite the same path, mostly because I can't imagine Trace as champion like in the other Kanto games. He's too nice. So I'm predicting a totally different champion. You heard it here first. Following Pokemon is back. The feature everyone has been screaming for since Black and White. It doesn't surprise me at all, since it's probably a lot easier to implement it into a game that only features the original 151, instead of having to make walking animations for every Pokemon ever. Though having said that, they did do that with Ultra Sun and Moon, but never used them, so maybe those models will be used in the 2019 title? Who knows? But it wouldn't be a pre-release video without my own hopes, would it? I want plenty of Easter eggs and version differences. And I promise I'm not just saying that so I can make videos on them. Mostly. The reason that I have such long series about Easter eggs and version differences in Pokemon is because they're some of the things that interest me the most. I want to see Game Freak throw a ton of really cool version differences our way. I'm talking Black and White style. I want version exclusive areas, characters, all that jazz. Give me a reason to buy both of the games other than just for version exclusive Pokemon. As for Easter eggs, I want to constantly be finding references to older games or even pop culture. Come on Pokemon, give me the memes, I know you have them. I hope that the difficulty curve can accommodate both younger and older players. I want a game that challenges me. I think that Ultra Sun and Moon had a really good balance in this regard. You've got the experience share to help you along if you need it, but even if it's turned on the whole time, the game isn't too easy. And if you want to challenge yourself, then you're free to just turn it off. And don't think I didn't see that new Pokemon. I want it to be an evolution that's either dragon, bug, flying, or ghost type. Any of these would make me incredibly happy. And I would very much like to see exclusive Pokemon Joy-Cons / controllers. They release special consoles with every new game. I have a video talking about all those. You should go watch it. So I'm banking on them doing it this time too. But I think I've had my ramble for the day. Those are my thoughts so far on Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. But this isn't the end, oh no. I've still got all the awesome stuff that the Pokemon Company sent me to show you guys. As promised, look at all these goodies. I can hardly believe my eyes. Thank you so much to the Pokemon Company for sending me all of this amazing stuff. So in total, we've got 28 packs of the newest expansion, Forbidden Light. We will see what's in those very shortly. There's this absolutely gorgeous notebook, which is a collaboration with Moleskine. I chose the Jigglypuff one because it's so cute, I couldn't resist. No! We've got Pokeball bookmarks, oh this is so cool. Pokemon did send this to me for free, but I would high-key want one of these anyway. It's time to tackle Pack Mountain, boys. Boom, number 1. Meowstic. Number 2. Oh, Prism Star, Diancie, nice. And Cloyster. Pack number 3, Lycanroc and Abomasnow. Zucatry, Rotom, Albalug. Ooh, first holo, Magnezone. I see something nice. What we got? Ooh, Arceus Prism Star. Sorry, Zygarde, you're not as special. Ooh, Aurorus holo. Barbaracle. Another Abomasnow. Goodra holo. Another Rotom. Come on, boys, we need a GX. That's a GX. Not gonna lie, I do really like this artwork though. Look at all the scales fluttering about. It's so cool. Fluggus. Another Zygarde. Delphox holo. Dragolgi. Another Magnezone holo. Ooh, another holo Pheromosa. A Alolan Marowak. Heatran. A trainer rare. What? That's new. Ah! Palkia! Oh, I'm happy. Okay, we good. We good. Yay! Palkia GX. Woo! Another holo Tyrantrum. Toxicroak. And the final pack. Hey, Empoleon holo. Not bad. That's a lot of cards. But again, enormous thank you goes out to the Pokemon Company, of course, for sending me all of this amazing stuff. You have absolutely spoiled me rotten. Yeah, all of these cards are from the newest TCG set, Forbidden Light, which is a set that's mostly centered around Kalos Pokemon. So even though we didn't actually see any of them today, there are a lot of cool Pokemon in the set like Xerneas and Eviltal, Greninja. It looks like a really awesome set on the whole, and I will leave all the links you need in the description for both the cards and this really, really cute notebook. Thanks a million, Pokemon Company, and thank you for watching. Bye! But now we're about done. Also, I'm gonna be at Summer in the City this year, if you didn't already know by now. You can buy tickets now, please come by.